a bit taller, you might have noticed. Okay, so hopefully you can see the photos of me. My name is Maddie Sumner. I'm 26 years old, so I'm a little bit older than some of you in the room, but hopefully I can still be called youth, fingers crossed. I do use she and her pronouns, and a fun fact about me is that my fiance and I have completed almost 30 escape rooms. So I'm quite good at jimmying a combo lock, and I said that exact same thing yesterday when I presented to Vic Police. So about my talk today, so I'm going to talk about Wear It Purple. So yesterday was Wear It Purple Day, which it did start in New South Wales, I believe, and that has actually grown to be an international cause. So with that, I'll grab this clicker, and awesome. I didn't test that, so I'm very happy that it worked. Just to make sure we're all on the same page, so Wear It Purple is a non-for-profit organisation and aims to foster safe, inclusive and supportive places for rainbow young people, which I'm going to say rainbow young people instead of LGBTIQ+, just because it's a little bit easier, but that's what I really mean. So I was actually a volunteer for Wear It Purple back in 2019 and 2020. Through that experience, I got to advocate for rainbow young people at a number of organisations. So I'm corporate myself. I work at Telstra. And I've noticed, some of you also may have noticed that this is a recording, but some corporates are a little bit out of touch to what local young people are really looking for. Skip ahead. So why are we here today? So I'm going to talk about my experience as a transgender woman, and I wanted to touch on some of the challenges, and Lorgel actually touched on some of these as well. Thank you for setting the scene, that was pretty incredible. So so I'm going to have a look, and LGBTQ+ young people face a number of additional challenges to the rest of society. Not all of them, but some, so including like rejection. There is a lot of negative mental health issues, and they're usually not from being LGBTQ+. It's mostly from the other challenges. So if they're rejected, if they do have a lot of unsupportive, like an unsupportive environment that they spend a lot of their time in, schools included. That's what really causes those mental health issues. And then later, unfortunately, there are high rates of substance abuse, poverty, unemployment, and it does go on. Some internal challenges, however. So if someone is coming out, they might be hesitant to do so. Lorgel told us earlier that even big men playing in the AFL experience this. So some of the concerns they might be thinking about, will I be bullied? When should I come out? Like, is it a good time? Like, am I going to disrupt my life right now? How do I explain it? Do I know the language? Who should I come out to? That's a pretty big one. Who is the first person you're going to come out and say, I'm gay or I'm transgender? Sometimes it's your parents, but if they're not supportive, then maybe it's your friends. Will people believe me, or will they just make fun of me? Will my friends still like me? Will I still have a home? Can I deal with this? So sometimes, depending on a young person's circumstances, they just might need to focus on other things in their life as well. They might not have the capacity to really focus on figuring out who they are because of all these other challenges. And what will happen? So the unknown, pretty much all of these are people going to move away from me. Am I going to lose friends? Who knows what will happen? That can be the scariest thing, really. And am I even rainbow? Maybe not. Maybe it's just phase. There is a lot, and I put this little GIF in here because sometimes people just don't want to rock the boat. They've got a good thing going. I also wanted to touch on today, so, we're not the same, but we kind of are. So let's look at some of the things that make us different. I use the genderbread person, they're my favourite. So first we look at gender identity. So that is how someone perceives themselves, it's their internal identity. And this graphic is really good because it shows two spectrums, and that's really important too. It's not binary, it's not this or this. It's got two spectrums, and you can be either or you can be a mix in between, or you can be extreme both. Okay, so maybe someone could identify maybe halfway as a woman and a little bit less as a man. They're still a person. Someone has a romantic attraction, and again, that is also a spectrum. So they could be attracted to women, females, and I think that terminology is very interesting because gender is not sex. I just want to make that pretty clear. And then we do get on to sex here. So, believe it or not, sex is also not binary, so intersex people do exist, but even moving from that to the everyday person, there are just so many different components that shape your sex. It could be hormones, it could be other parts. And then there's also gender expression, so how you express yourself to other people. So maybe you could identify as a woman, but for whatever reason, whether in the AFL or you're not out yet, you could actually still express yourself as a man to kind of stay hidden. So yeah, I hope that kind of helps set the scene of what the differences are. But I guess like the main takeaway from this is we're all a bit unique, but we are the same. Okay, so everyone has different measurements here. I've got a quick question for you. Feel free to shout it out or put it onto Slido. What causes people to have these different characteristics? Is it genetics and hormones, social pressure, or other influences? That's right, it was a trick question anyway. No one really knows. But it really doesn't matter. Like, who really cares, like, what causes someone to be gay or whatever? Let's just treat them as people. I think that's the main point of my talk today. All right, so the next part of my talk is going to be a bit of fun. So I came up with this idea that we're all going to cross the Rainbow Bridge. If you are unable to cross it, don't worry, we need people on the side laughing at everyone who's trying to cross it. So basically the task is, you might have seen there's a whole bunch of poorly painted rainbow cardboard boxes behind us. So we're all going to try and attempt to cross it, and I don't mind how you do that. It could be jumping, it could be leaping, or it could be trying to, walk across it in a very dignified way, but it won't be, I promise you. All right, well, let's make our way over there now. Thank you. So the bridge represents a challenge, and it could be an LGBTQ+ journey, it could be anything else that's relevant in your life, doesn't have to be that way. But yeah, the gist is that with support from others, Matt and Crystal and everyone else, it does make it a bit easier. And again, it does pave the way for people in future. So in the rainbow community, there is that essence of the people that have come before you have paved the way for your journey today. And I won't go into details, but the LGBTQ+ community has had a very rocky history. lots of rebellion and protests and things like that. Unfortunately, a lot of deaths as well. So, for me to stand up here today and talk about my journey as a transgender person is actually quite privileged compared to those who have attempted to in the past. So thank you. And, lost my notes. So the focus of today is about rainbow young people. So I'm hoping that, today that we can pave the way for the rainbow young people of tomorrow. All right, so on that topic, there we go. Yeah, pretty much covered all that. Awesome. How can we support rainbow young people? One tangible thing is we can respect pronouns. So I use she and her, as I said before. If you make a mistake, that's fine, but just make an effort to use she and her when you refer to me or talk to me. Defend people. So being a bystander can be quite dangerous because it encourages other people to be a bystander, and all of a sudden you've got like a fight in the schoolyard and all these people standing around and no one's actually supporting the person who's getting beaten. And ask questions, so be curious. You're not going to often offend people just by asking your questions, but just understand that we don't know everything. I'm not a rocket scientist, and by that same meaning, I don't know everything about being transgender. I only know my own experience. Yep. I like to finish up with this slide in my talk. So this slide has a lot of great moments that I've been able to experience since coming out. The gist is it does get better with support from friends, family and colleagues. And all of you here today as allies or as part of the community. Everyone who took a leap of faith and walked over a whole bunch of poorly painted cardboard boxes really showed me that the support in this room is real, so thank you. To point out a couple of highlights for me, so that video that just played, that was me marching down Mardi Gras in 2020. That was really, really fun. Lots of gay people. And there was some rainbow cake there as well. And actually, I went and got coffee at Telstra one morning, and all of a sudden, the CEO of Telstra walks in, and I had the courage, I was with a friend, she kind of encouraged me to as well, but I had the courage to ask him for a photo. And so we took a photo together. It's actually the one in the bottom left, and that was posted on Telstra's internal news, and that felt amazing, that the CEO would stand next to me, take a photo, and show his support. Meant a lot. And I'll leave you with a statement from Wear It Purple, which is everyone has the right to be proud of who they are. Doesn't matter who you are, from what minority group you are in. I really believe in that statement, and that's why I'm here today, to spread that message and answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
We had a question from